Good evening, wakurugenzi wenzangu. Good evening. Confirm if mwalimu is audible.
Good evening.
Great. I hope mwalimu is very audible and can get mwalimu very well. So I know majority of you umetoka kichinjio, which is very okay. Yeah, majority of you najua umetoka kichinjio, which is very okay. We can still have that chat. We can still have that chat. So for those who don't know me, my name is CPA Ringo Frederick, and majority of you basically know Mwalimu as the person who guides us on CPA only, or the aspect of the CASNEB courses only. But of course, there are other things that we normally tend to do, which I know in one way or the other, we can always benefit from each other by learning, through each other. I always believe like life is always about learning. So officially, for those who don't know Mwalimu, I'm a CPA Ringo Frederick. Currently, I'm the team leader at Darasa Digital College. We also have I also run a firm. This is an accounting firm, majored in taxation, accounting, and basically aspect of governance and controls. This firm is called Arilid and Associates. Arilid and Associates. I'm also an internal auditor of a company known as Enovis. This is a purely cyber security company. In addition to other things that we normally tend to do, some of you have seen Sahara somewhere. We also try to manage Sahara, and where we are sitting right now, I'm a committee member of ISPAC Council, basically for digital transformation and artificial intelligence. If you go to ISPAC, you search members committee, you're going to get your Mwalimu there as a committee member of ISPAC Council, that is digital transformation and artificial intelligence. So this is a part of my profile. Majority of you know Mwalimu as Mwalimu. You normally tend to guide us here and there. Other than guiding you guys, we also normally do some these stuff that I've mentioned to you. So today basically is more of a mentorship program. Understand, you guys, you are just from your exams. Wengine wanasema imekuwa fire si fire, yeah? Moto si moto, eh? Mnasema Goliathi wewe, yeah? but you've managed, yeah? You've managed. If at all you managed to clear that exam up to this point, then that's a thumbs up, yeah? Regardless of how the paper has been, so long as you've cleared your exams and right now you're here, that is a thumbs up. And you guys, you've literally tried your best. See? So as I've always said, like the rest, you just leave it to the marker and you also leave it to God. That is what I normally tend to say. What you've done your best. The rest, where you're sitting right now, you just leave it to God and leave it, of course, to the markers, and all will be well. All will be well. So that aside, allow us to have a very candid conversation, mostly about us young accountants. That is a conversation that I want us to have. And in our groups, I saw somewhere whereby, of course, one was like more so for the job advertisement that are offered for accountants, including the salary that is always quoted in that case. Me, I'll give my view on why that is happening. In addition, we can also talk about solutions on the next steps or what we will be required to improve in such an event. So this will be purely a mentorship program, as well as I'll also be giving you some tips on the best things that you can do for us to remain competitive. because to be frank, where we are sitting right now, the world is very, very competitive. The world is very, very competitive. Personally, I've diversed on aspect of technology and finance. So when I tell you guys right now things are very competitive, there are things that if at all we align very well, then trust you me, we'll always be in a very, very good position to compete favorably. So before I say what Mwalimu will want to share with us, I'll also want to get your view on probably what you think we should talk about. I have my list on what I think I should share with us. And also in review, you can also share on the chat on what you think Mwalimu should talk about. It will help us all to have a very candid conversation, yeah? This will just be like a class Mwalimu anatufunza pana. At this point, it will be an open conversation as much as it's also a mentorship program. It will also be a very, very open conversation. So if I told you having anything that you think Mwalimu should talk about, kindly don't hesitate. You just put it on the chat, and I'm going to appoint one person who will help Mwalimu to of course raise the questions in the chat, because there's a very high chance that I might not be able to go through the chats. So I'm going to request one of us to help Mwalimu, of course, to share these questions on chats. And in this case, I have my secretary here. Yeah, I have my secretary here on Zoom classes. Carol, do you do the things that you normally do? Carol?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Great. Carol is always my secretary on this, and I really appreciate. I think I'll
Thank
meet with
you.
her one of these days to kunywa chai, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Great. So Carol will be my secretary to, of course, give Mwalimu what you guys have posted, and that will help. So let us start by this one thing that majority of you probably know you're not familiar of. How many of us have heard TAPEF? How many of us have heard TAPEF? TAPEF. How many of us have heard TAPEF? By show of hands. Yeah? By show of hands, that is either thumbs up on the chat or just by show of hands. How many of us have heard of TAPEF? Yeah? TAPEF. TAPEF is TAPEF. TAPEF. Uh-huh. So I know I have some mentees on the program, but I really want to know how many of us have heard of TAPEF? TAPEF. Some of us, I think, yeah, some are showing they've heard of TAPEF, which is good. So for those who might not have heard of TAPEF, what is TAPEF? I know some of you've seen Mwalimu talking about TAPEF in the group for so many times, yeah? So TAPEF, basically, this is a program that ISPAC started. A program that ISPAC started. These are trainee accountants practical experience framework. Trainee accountants practical experience framework. This is what is called TAPEF. So TAPEF, anyone who can join TAPEF is any accounting student. So long as you've registered with CASNEB, regardless of which course you're doing, in this case, you are eligible to register to TAPEF. So what does TAPEF does? And this will bring a conversation about what we normally tend to, why our accountants many a times, though not like absolute case, but many a times why you'll find our pay for majorly a lot of accountants, the pay is usually kind of very less. So what TAPEF does, at this point you register under TAPEF. I'm going to share the link. You registered on TAPEF. Under this platform, you're going to select your mentor. You're going to select your mentor. after you've selected your mentor, the work of the mentor will be to hold your hands. Why? Because most of the time or all through, you'll find that as accounting students, you're majorly without kupaka mafuta ama just to say the way it is, majority, they are always very theoretical. See, majority of accounting students, they are very, very theoretical. In a sense that if at all you try to engage someone in a practical experience, this person will be out completely. Ataona giza totoro. See, if at all you try to engage this person on a practical part. So it is not bad because we can say there's always a point of growing. Yeah, there's always a point of growing. Like a small child, of course, you'll always tend to start by taking milk. You proceed by taking probably Cerelac. You go ahead and you start eating githeri all the way. So there's always aspect of what growth, which is understandable. But again, it should depend. How are you growing? Yeah. What is the environment? That will also determine whom you will be in future. Say, so talking about this, TAPEF, you'll find that it is a very unique and a very great initiative. The only disadvantage is that majority of the accounting students, they don't have information about TAPEF. That is the only unfortunate part. And this is what Mwalimu will want to share with us today. See, so TAPEF, in this case, once you register as probably you have selected any other person as your mentor, it also depends with the mentor. But ideally, this mentor should hold your hands so that when we are doing things practically, those who are available or those who can find time, the mentor will hold your hands and try to show you how some things are being done practically. How will this help you? This will help you in a sense that as much as you're continuing with your studies of accounting, you are also getting practical experience, which would be very valuable when you're done with your studies. Say because nowadays what normally happens, and I'm going to talk from the experience that I have or that I've seen. I have clients, a lot of clients that is under R&D and Associates. We have clients, and I think these clients they always want to get, of course, someone even at an entry level, not even experience at an entry level. There are those clients who request, of course, experienced accountants. So let us not go even to experience. Let us go to the entry level. See, I know very well that I have my students somewhere, and I know probably some of these students had requested Molimu, if you get a position or an opportunity somewhere, kindly share. See, so I have this student who is probably in advanced level. I know this person will be clearing. This client of mine has requested a level entry accountant. So in this case, these are relationship that I have built with this client because hapo ndo pia mimi natoa unga yangu. See, that is where I also get whatever that I can get. So whoever I'm going to give this client should be a person who is going to deliver. So know what Molim will do. Molim will post an opportunity in the group, and I'm going to invite you for an interview. In this case, whether you are my student or not, I'll just post it in these groups for students. I'll get people to come. So on the interview process, what I want to gather from you, I know you don't have experience. I know it is when you want to start gathering experience. That one I know very well. But what I am expecting from you is that at least you should be having knowledge. I expect you should be having knowledge. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask you not practical questions per se, but the knowledge that you obtain through your learning process. So, like in this case, maybe for example, in an interview, I'll ask you a knowledge-based question whereby, for example, okay, this client has purchased, say, like furniture, or this client has purchased, say, like a motor vehicle on credit. I want you to give me an entry on how you're going to do this on QuickBooks. That is a knowledge-based question. It is not an experienced question. These are knowledge-based. Whatever that I had expected you to have learned through your studies. But you know what will happen? Utaanza to scratch your head. You'll start scratching your head. In this case, you'll be in a position not to give me a clear entry. I've just asked you, these are knowledge-based questions that you know what? Kindly advise or tell me how you're going to record this on the system, on QuickBook or whichever system that you're using, just double entry on purchase of a fixed asset on credit. Higher. In that case, you're totally off. Another bit, I'll just ask a simple bit. This client has, say, like five employees in this case. I need you to give me the process as much as it's going to be done on the system. Like, I'll ask you simple case, yeah? How can you account for withholding tax VAT? These are knowledge-based. How will you account for withholding tax VAT for this client? In this case, totally off. Unaona giza totoro kabisa. You see? So what will that create on my mind? In this case, it will be a position whereby as much as I want to take you to this client, but the knowledge based already you failed. So what will that translate? Looking at it on the eyes of the employer. On the eyes of the employer, they will be like, even if I engage this person, again, I am going to use my resources to train this person what I expect he or she will have learned in college. What I am expecting to teach you is the practical part. But here I've realized that even the knowledge part, you don't know. So then, how will I send you to my client? Which confidence will I have, even if at all you've been referred? Kusema tutasoma mbele watu wakisonga. Will you learn as people are going on? I'll ask myself, this person will have learned this all through. These are knowledge-based. Hakuna experience, hakuna chochote. These are purely knowledge-based. See, so that is where I would rather be like, okay, as much as I'll want to assist, maybe you had quoted, say, like 50,000, or maybe you had quoted, say, like 70,000, because you have your degree and you're having your CPA maybe up to advanced level. But where I'm sitting, I won't give you 70,000. Why? First of all, I'm going to use my resources to train you what I expected you to have learned in school. So instead of me giving you 70K just to absorb you, yeah, just to absorb you, I'll be like, I'm having 25K here, take or leave. Yeah, take or leave. I'm having 25K here, take or leave, because there'll be this time that I'm going to teach you again things that you'll have learned or things that I expect you to have learned in college. See, but this is not like in all situations. Of course, there are those situations whereby a person is very experienced, but the pay is that. But why is it like that? It is because this has been the case that has been there all through. It has developed over a period of time. So how will this be corrected? Then this will be corrected by what now is PAC coming together with CASNEB, what they have come with TAPEF, whereby you guys, you not only be studying for theory, but having a person who will hold your hands to take you or to guide you through this journey. So that in the event that you get an opportunity, even if at all it is that interview that you've been called upon, you will be able to do what? You'll be able to answer questions very well, and there'll always be that good impression that you're going to create. As I've always said, impression is always very key. So you think about it. Why is it that when you go to an interview, then after an interview is done, though not all cases, after the interview is done, you just see a person say, like, we're going to call you. And that's it. Many a times they're not called. Why? It is not that, it is not like they didn't want a person, or maybe many scenarios is that it's not that they have a person, only that the way you presented yourself in terms of answering these questions, of course, in of course what in this aspect of the interview process. There are some that have guided you. You come to the office when you're going to the interview. I've guided you. I don't know. So some like maybe just to mention name, if at all you can allow. I don't know if Eric is here. There are some that have guided you before you go to the interview, and majority, when you go the way I've guided you, you'll always get the job. Why? It is because of the presentation and these keys that I've always shared with us. So before maybe I go to the next step, I wish to get some questions where you feel like, okay, Mwalimu, what about this or about this? Kindly, my secretary, Carol, tufanye maneno. Are there any questions for Mwalimu?
No, not yet. There's just someone who is wondering, 25K gross ama net.
This might be gross, imagine. This might be gross, giving you chance to grow. This might be gross, giving you chance to grow. So there are things that if at all you correct, then it will help us a lot. It will help us a lot, more so for the entry-level accountants. It will help us a lot. So I'm going to, I'll try to share.
Sorry.
I think I'll share after this. Yes, Carol?
There's another question. Someone is asking, how can you join TAPEF? And what are the qualifications? How can you join TAPEF and what are the qualifications?
Okay, this is easy. TAPEF, you don't need to have qualification other than you being a CASNIB student. You only need your reg number. I'm going to share the link just after this. So you just go to the portal. On the portal, you are like 500. So far, I think you are like 500 mentors on the portal. So of course, you just select two. You just select the mentor that you know, or the one that you feel this person can be your mentor. We are like 500 mentors on the platform. So I'm going to share with us the link on how to join TAPEF. I know it will help us a lot. I'm going to share the link on how to join TAPEF. Great. Any other question?
Yeah, the other one is, can I register for IcePack without doing BDA if I have work experience?
No. You must get a certificate of completion, and this is, of course, your final paper from CASNIB for you to register as an IcePack member, starting with an associate. So you must clear with CASNIB first before you go to register. Of course, with our IcePack.
So the other question is, the mentor paid? Is the mentor paid? Ama the mentor anafanya kazi ya Mungu?
So in this case, it depends on the mentor. Like personally, the ones that I took currently, there are like two people who are under my program. They haven't paid me anything. So like what I normally tend to do is like those that have guided. So currently there are those who are continuing. Like we having like 2 or 3, I think they're in an internship program. Personally, what I normally tend to do, and I think this is a growth that normally helps. I guide you through very well in terms of the practical part. Because taxation is open, I'll lead you on how to go about it. So the only bit that you're going to earn is when you get a client, and there are some things that you cannot do. Like, for example, you cannot sign the books. So you just approach, okay, I've assisted this person for maybe aspect of tax, but this person also needs what? An audit. So can you help at this point? That is where we agree and see how we can go about it. Or situations whereby maybe we've gotten a client, you're doing the work, and there are areas that you feel like you cannot do yourself. So what you normally tend to do is that we just approach, this is a job that is there. Mwalimu, I've gotten this job. How can we go about it? What can we share? This is what this client is paying. With my input, we agree, this is what you're going to do. So as of that point, that is how I am. That is personally how I am. So there are other mentors. People are different. I know there are other mentors who they normally tend to charge. And in that case, probably based on how you're going to agree. But personally, that is the approach that I've taken. But I know there are other mentors who charge, which it is not like they are not allowed to charge. Yeah, because again, they'll also be using their resources. They'll also be using their resources. Any other question? Okay. So after talking about TAPEF, which Molimo has mentioned, I'll be sharing the link for us to go and attempt and try to interact with it. I know it will help us a lot. Yeah, it will help us a lot. So we talk about the aspect of the soft skills.
Hey, mwalimu, maswali ni mob.
Maswali ni mob, na mbona zimeandikwa hapo kweli? Karo Maisek?
Yeah.
Which other nimewachwa nyuma? Karo?
Yeah, sorry, Mwalimu. There's another one. Someone is asking, what's your full name in TAPEF, Mwalimu? Sir, guide us on how to ramp a CV so that it can be attractive. Someone again is saying, how can one develop consistency during CPA journey? I'm equally seeing someone saying that there are questions that I've not read, but I'm trying to check. I don't know whether it's my nini. I'm not able to see them, but let me just keep on checking. But you can respond to those ones as I'm sorting the rest.
Oh, okay, sure. So like for TAPEF, if at all you go to that bit, my name under the mentors, my name is CPA Aringo Frederick. Just go and CPA Aringo, or you can search with my member number. My member number is 21648. 21648. That is my membership number. Or you can just search CPA Aringo Frederick and TAPEF. In that case, you just be guided the procedure on how you can select, of course, the mentor. On how you can select the mentor. So it will always be upon me to accept. It will always be upon me to accept. See, like at least personally for each and every month, I normally accept like 5 to 6 mentees. So I know there are those who have applied, so I've not accepted them. Probably it is because of the queue. But personally, I normally accept like 5 to 6 mentees. 5 to 6 mentees every month. 5 to 6 mentees every month. So in terms of talking about the aspect of CV, I'll talk about CV as we proceed. I'll talk about the best way, of course, because CV is communicating who you are. CV is communicating who you are. So of course, we'll be talking about that, and I'll be talking about that under this area of the soft skills. See, my good students, you'll find that where we are, to be honest, things are changing very fast. See, the world is changing very fast, more so in our career as well. Things are changing very, very, very fast. And for those who have been always attending my classes, you've always seen Mwalimu trying to ask each and everyone a question. It is not that I ask this just for you to mention the solution or so. No. What I normally tend to try to build to you guys is what I normally refer to as the confidence of public speaking. See, the confidence of public speaking. This is also one of the greatest soft skill. If at all you have, it will take you places. So traditionally it has been accountants are those people who just sit at the corner desk and they're just crunching numbers. They're just crunching numbers. No, things are changing very fast. See, and nowadays it's not like before whereby this msemo Kiswahili ilikuwa inasema aje. It normally tend to say like kizuri cha jiuza, kibaya chafanya nini? Kibaya cha jitembeza, right? That is the Kiswahili where we normally say like kizuri cha jiuza, kibaya cha jitembeza. Nowadays hata kama ni kizuri lazima chijitembeze. See, and that's why utaona Safaricom every now and then they are still on marketing for them to be seen. So where we are living today, in every sector of life, not only in academics, in every sector of life, whatever that you're doing, whether you are experienced or not, whether you're in business or not, whether you're employed or not, nowadays, for you to be seen, you must raise your hand. You must raise your hands for you to be seen. Take, for example, we are in a conference room, right? Then we ask probably, who is hungry? Who will need lunch? Then in this case, everyone, the hands are down. How will I know that you are hungry? See, I'll assume that you're full, right? You will not get the lunch. But the person who raised the hand, this is a person who is going to get the lunch. This is a person who is going to get what? To get the lunch. So regardless of whatever that you're doing, nowadays, you must raise your hand for you to be seen. You cannot be seen if at all you have not raised your hands. You'll say that, Mwalimu, you're talking in parables. No. What I'm trying to mean in this case is that you must show what you can do. For growth, there's nothing like luck. Luck, it will get a person who has make steps. In this case, you literally have to wake up. You literally have to show your hands. You have to raise your hands for you to be seen. So in this case, how are you going to raise your hands? How many accountants do we have? How many people normally graduate for CPA each and every year? How many accountants cleared CPA so many years ago and they're outside there? How many accountants? There are so many. There are so many accountants. But what will make you different from the rest? All of you've passed through professional what? All of you passed through professional journey of either CPA or ACCA. You passed through that professional journey. All of you have CPA. The reason why you're called finalist or accountants is because all of you pass CPA. All of you have what? Or maybe some you have your bachelor's degrees with CPA. Some also have masters. But what will distinguish you from the rest? What will distinguish you from the rest? This is all about what? Soft skills that you're going to get. If at all, in a room of 20 accountants and only 2 accountants can stand up and speak to the multitude, these 2 accountants, they are very different from the rest. And when an opportunity comes, they'll always remember that accountant who stood and made a speech. They'll always remember that those 2 people or 1 person who stood up and made a speech. All those who are seated, they might not be remembered. So I'm really insisting on the soft skills that we should always tend to obtain. Like, for example, number 1, soft skills. Learn to communicate. Learn to pass this information to a multitude of people to the point that they can understand you and they can relate to you. Number two, you must be very good in terms of, other than just, of course, communication, that is the aspect of public speaking. There is other few elements that maybe you might not, it is not even in a syllabus. Skills like, say, advanced Excel. You are in a job environment, the guys are trying to crunch the way that they can solve a situation. You have a data, in this case, you're not sure you're going to solve this data. What will help you? In this case, you come out, say like, I'm good in advanced Excel. I can help you solve this situation. Say, already you are the 1% out of the 99% of the accountants. In this case, already, this is a way of raising your hands for you to be seen. Say, and now where the world is heading, of course, and I think I've talked about this so many times. In my line of work, what we've been doing for like the last 8 months, we've been training CFOs when it comes to this tool that is called Power Business Intelligence. And you guys, you're going to be my witness. Let us give ourselves like 8 months to around 1 year thereabout. In each and every advert of accounting that we'll see, proficiency in Power Business Intelligence will be amongst, mark this date. Today we are on 4th December. Mark this date, this time that Mwalimu is telling us this. Give us like 8 months, 1 year thereabout. Be looking at the job opportunities and concentrate on the requirements. You'll always tend to see, or you'll be seeing, proficiency in Power Business Intelligence. The way we've been, the way we normally tell these CFOs and where the world is heading more so what they normally tend to talk. I know Power BI, it might be new on this side, but outside there, this is a tool that is being used in so many organizations in terms of presentation, in terms of aspect of visualizing the company. This is a tool that is being used a lot. There are so many other soft skills. The aspect of data analytics skill, the beauty part is that Kasneb had introduced that part. These are some of the things that, other than just having CPA, look at that 1 or 2 item that will make you different from the rest and hold it dearly, because that might be the key to open the doors that might have been closed. That might be the key to open the doors that might have been closed. So you think about it in terms of the soft skills. It will help us a lot. It will help us a lot. So for soft skills, I know I can talk so many things about the soft skills. So maybe before we proceed to the next talk, probably, are there questions? My secretary, Carol, are there questions?
There's one here. Someone is asking, and I think this is very pressing, that how can someone develop consistency in studying CPA?
Consistency in studying CPA. So you're really about in terms of the period, or in terms of studying, or in terms of you taking a break. Probably, if at all, you can look at it in those 3 angles. So let us talk about consistency in terms of timing. I know CPA at times can be frustrating. I know that one, I understand. Why? Because you'll find that I think it was last sitting, last sitting whereby I had this student of mine. She started CPA back in 2004. She started CPA back in 2004. So 2004, we are looking at 2025. How many years are we talking about? More than 2 decades, yeah? So you'll find that the mistake that she was doing was like before so many of you started doing CPA. Before it was like when you fail a paper, one paper, the requirement was you're required to do all the other papers. This only changed back in 2009, whereby now if at all you do, if you fail a paper, you can repeat that paper that you failed. But before 2009 thereabout, you'll find that when you fail one paper, assuming you're in section 3, then right now, which is intermediate, assuming you've done say like the 3 papers, you fail one paper, you are required to do all the 3 papers. So to the point that she was taking a break, a lot of breaks. She took a break back in 2007. Then again, she resumed CPA back in 2010. 2010, she was doing, then it was called part 2. Akafanya some papers, akashikwa, that was then QA. Akaachilia kwanza. It was actually, there were like 2 papers alishikwa. Akaachilia, in this case, she resumed back in 2014 when I was clearing my CPA. I cleared my CPA back in 2014. She came back again in 2014. Akafanya some papers, akaingia advanced level. Advanced level akashikwa, akapotea. Tena akafanya nini? Akarudi back in 2024. That was last year. So last year is when she did the papers in advanced level akapita. She was supposed to do BDA. Actually, she held back. And she was just doing her own timing. So you'll find that the exams for August, ndiye alifanya BDA na akapita BDA. So in this case, you can literally figure out that the consistency of this lady, it wasn't okay because of so many breaks. So my advice will always be, regardless of how things will be, CPA is like a cult. Yeah, let me, with a lack of a better word, let me say CPA is like a cult. And why is Mwalimu saying like CPA is a cult? Regardless of how many breaks you take, you'll always find yourself coming back to do CPA. Utenda mahali, an opportunity comes, you'll be like, CPA is required. A finalist is required. Utenda mahali, maybe kuna promotion in the job, you'll always be like, CPA is required. See, so you'll have to come back. And the reason why I normally try to say like, CPA is literally like a cult. Once you are in, the only way out is to clear the papers. That is the only way out. Once you are in, the only way out is to clear the papers. So in terms of consistency, in that case, I'll advise, if at all you have the resources and capability, regardless of how many times you're going to get refers, you keep on going. As of the end of the day, I'll tell you for sure, the fruits for CPA, they are good. Very good if you are strategic. If you are strategic, the fruits for CPA, they are very good. They are very, very good. I'm just telling you guys the truth. If you are strategic, yeah, don't be amongst the 99%. Be amongst the 1%. And the 1% to be there, you really need a good guide. So that in terms of consistency, maybe the other line of consistency that I can look at is maybe when you're doing your studies. Doing your studies, I know probably you might be having a family, you're having work to handle, you're having business to manage. In this case, there is exam that is coming in. You just need to balance all these stuffs. See, in this case, you can balance. And in this, allow me to give you my personal story. In this case, the reason why even this aspect of MDRASA came into being, yeah, that was back in that was back in 2014. As I'd mentioned, when I was doing, of course, when I cleared my CPA. So back then, of course, I used to work for some companies, but in 2014, that was a time that literally changed everything. Why? In this case, of course, I was working at a certain company along Lunga Lunga Road. For those who know Nairobi very well, yeah. Hapo Enterprise ukiingia hapo iko industrial area kabisa. And in this case, there are some other courses that I was also doing at Moi University. So you'll find that then, in this case, you're kind of you're joining, you're coming to class. We didn't used to have like late evening sessions. We didn't have late evening sessions. Then it was evening, early morning. They came later. It was evening, bit of early morning that had started in day classes. So mimi natoka kazi na hiyo, in that case I was employed in a certain company, known company that was Golden Biscuits, Pat Manji Biscuits. So in this case ulikuwa unatoka kazi around 5:30. And in this context, it is a 5:30 that class was starting. Alafu makosa nilikuwa nimefanya at combined section 5 and 6. Then tuko nita section 5 and 6. That's a mistake that I did. Not a mistake because anyway, it came to be, and I kind of I appreciate the time and all those. See, so in this case, ulikuwa unatoka kazi 5:30. Saa zingine labda unatoka around 6. Ukipanda gari, that is traffic utakaa nayo kwa barabara. So we used to kufuata this railway, yeah, unatembea kutoka hapo industrial area just to save time because of that traffic, ndo ufike class mapema. The earliest I was reaching class, it was around 7 p.m., 7:15 p.m. And mark you me, the class was ending at 7:30 p.m. So you've already paid your fees. There's nothing that you can do. In this case, you've already booked for exams. You cannot postpone. What really helped me a lot, it was always about what? The aspect of revision. So not only revisions, for those who've been attending my class, you always see Mwalimu telling us like we should have a group discussions. Me, what helped me a lot, actually, it was these revisions. So I was joining revision groups. Then we used to have our revision groups. My friend Diki and some of my friends, Kina Judy, we literally have to have discussions. When the class had ended at around 7:30, ni sisi tunakaa kwa shule, right? We discuss, and what really helped me a lot, I was arguing the wrong things. You see, mtu anasema these mostly when it comes to that time was called SG, Strategy Governance and Ethics, which is now Leadership and Management. Mtu ana argue this point, me I'm arguing the wrong thing, right? I'm arguing the wrong thing so that I can get to know exactly what is the right thing. See, so in this case, discussion came in, it helped me a lot. See, and then, yeah, I didn't have a family, but the pressure of job and work and other stuff that I was doing, kindly make sure you're muted, no, unless you're asking a question. So that really literally pushed me a lot. So to that point, I was like, okay, how many people like me are suffering outside here? How many people like me are suffering outside here? Kindly make sure you're muted. Kindly make sure you're muted, no, unless you're having a question. Or kama, let me see, unatupigia kelele, atolewe ama akue muted. So then what literally, that is when the idea of a solution, what am I going to do so that those people who are suffering like me, they should be assisted. So the idea of, from then I used to love tech a lot. The idea of, okay, there's this bit that people can study online. Then it was an app. But trust you me, like, like you're just a student, you don't have capital, hauna anything. Then in 2014, to figure out how this app would come to be, it was going to around 600,000. That was in 2014, where you don't have anything. Then I was like, okay, this is an idea that I have because I had that idea that this can solve this stuff. Okay, I approached some people. We tried some partnership. This partnership, we tried it. That was back in 2015. Things worked. It reaches a point whereby at times partnership might not work. So that didn't go as I'd expected. And let me tell you guys one secret. In everything that you do, so long as you know it is your idea, never give 100% of your idea. Regardless of, in this point, you don't have resources, you don't have capital to establish what you want. Never give 100% of your idea. Always give a small bit to see the behavior and to see how things will work. Never give 100% of your idea. That's a secret that Mwalimu is giving us. Because then in 2015, I gave like almost a quarter, it bear fruits. And in this context, it was like, these guys were like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. Literally, as I'd mentioned, at times, partnership might not work. We dropped it out. I went back to the line of employment. I started doing some stuff. I got an opportunity to work in a certain audit firm, a very big audit firm. All of you, you know that audit firm. I worked there for like I worked there for like 1 year in this audit firm. But still that dream that I had in 2014, bado ilikuwa inanisumbua, like this thing we really need to establish. So while I was working, I was trying to develop, of course, this stuff, these things, what you can do. The only limitation was capital. Sikuwa na shilingi, nilikuwa nimesota mbaya sana. Yeah, sikuwa na anything, like literally for me to come up with this project. So what helped me a lot, I used to visit iHub a lot. Kwa hapo Ngong Road. Most of the time nikitoka job naenda iHub, nikitoka job naenda iHub, nikitoka job naenda iHub. So I used to be there a lot. And through that, I met these guys. That was fast forward. We come back in 2017. I met some guys. These were literally, they were Indian American guys. I shared with them. Of course, I won't kind of, in this case, I'll be very free to mention the name because they also have me on their platform. If I told you've heard of Melimu, yeah? So in this case, these guys, they came to Kenya. Melimu, I think they have provided even these tablets to so many universities around. So they were like, okay, this can work. I shared with them a portion of my idea. They were very excited. They took the idea, they implemented it in their structure, and there's a deal that they gave me. The only limitation was, like in this case, also we started doing bit of CPA online. That was back in around now towards the end of 2018 to 2017. The only limitation was anything that I wanted it to be changed was literally being done in India. Anything wataka kubadilisha inaenda India. By then also I was attending, if I told you you've heard of Moringa School, by then I was also doing some courses at Moringa School. Only that disadvantage was like Moringa then it was lazima ukwe pale full day, and we were looking for some stuff what you're supposed to do. So these guys were like, okay, Fred, you've given us this idea. Majority, they used to call me a Ringo. You've given this idea, now what do we do? In 2018, that is when I got a capital. The idea that was there from 2014, I came and got a capital in 2018. They literally agreed to finance what I had, where as they were using the structure, that is when I got a capital. They gave me good cash, and that 2018 is when we started developing MDarasa. Back in 2018, with my little knowledge in IT, of course, we gathered some IT professionals as well, very good developers. In this case, we agreed on some case. They were partner of the company, MDarasa. Sorry for that, I'm changing this. So then 2018, the challenge was getting people will help you to push this idea because the capital is there. Now we needed content. Yeah, we needed now content to push. And where will the content came from? The content will come from the lecturers. So you are sharing this idea with your colleagues. Then they were like, Aringo, you are crazy. How can you do a FAR online and go and do exams? Some people, they were just like, this cannot happen. Yeah. There's only one lek. I won't mention his name. He bought the idea. And in this case, we tried something and it literally worked. So it didn't work for quite some time, but at least it worked. You see, so come 2020, now everything changed. Everything literally changed. That was in 2019, we worked. Getting students studying online in 2019 was crazy. Unaambia mwanafunzi ati you can do a FAR online and go to do exams and pass. People were like, they were kind of like, I'm scamming them. Like, how can you do a FEM online and go to do exams? Mimi najaribu kuambia kuna kitu itwa Zoom. The Zoom you can connect. In this case, we have this platform you can literally work. Alafu pia kuna application whereby students will just be getting the recorded versions. Guys were looking at it like a move. It cannot happen. See, come in 2020, COVID came. Yeah. And that is when literally everything changed. Yeah. That is when literally everything changed. That is when literally everything changed. And at least people came to see the dream that we had. And after COVID-19, of course, the rest is history. Yeah, the rest is history. The rest is history. So that is how we came about. And I had to bring this story because of the person who had asked about aspect of consistency. So what Mwalimu is trying to say is that regardless of the barriers that are there, don't give a break for CPA. Or regardless of the challenges that you see, things cannot work. You just push on. Everything will always work out the way it has been designed. Everything will always tend to fall in place the way it has been designed. So I'm not sure if at all the person would ask of consistency, Mwalimu has answered the question. Carol, is the person answered?
Yeah, he's answered. And thank you for that story, actually. You've really, really encouraged us.
So
it's such a wonderful...
Yeah.
And you see disruptions. COVID really disrupted so many things and people had to adopt. And that's how some of us started now learning online. All right. Someone is asking here, can someone change the specifications, for example, dump advanced tax and take advanced audit?
If I told the person I booked earlier on.
It's not very clear whether she's not very clear whether she had already booked. So I don't know at what point, maybe if she can really come out clear on that.
Okay, so for specialization, the moment you've booked, there's no going back. So long as you've booked the paper, there's no going back. You have to do, once you've attempted, you have to do that paper. There's no going back. If I told you had booked, there's no going back. Probably she wasn't clear, but just to mention, if I told you had booked, there's no going back. There's no going back. There's no going back.
So there's someone also asking something here. I'm not really sure whether it's related to this one, but maybe you can answer. Sure. Now, like today's company law paper, which leaked, does it mean there will be strict marking even to those who didn't have leakage? And how does CASNEB handle such issues?
Okay, a good question. I was really praying someone not to ask that question, but but it's okay. So like first of all, I'm not speaking on behalf of CASNEB, but this is what normally happens. Yeah. At all times, there's no time that a paper will always go below 50% or go above 50%. The pass mark will always remain to be 50%, regardless of whatever that has happened. So what will happen in this context? They won't know those who have cheated, or rather those who have who had the leaked paper, or those who didn't have. What will happen in this case is that at times you guys normally write rumors, yeah. Andikanga rumors kama solutions, yeah. So what will happen is that hizo rumors, yeah, wale wenye wameandika rumors kama solutions is what now the examiner will be very strict on. See, like in terms of there won't be like leniency the way it normally is, or rather when a paper, like what normally happens, assuming a question is so hard, what normally tends to happen is a reallocation of marks for a question to be given higher percentage on areas that have not been performed clearly. But in such an event, there won't be those, of course, aspect of elements that will be there. In this case, there'll always be strict marking. There'll always be strict marking. The worst that can happen, if at all, there's a center which is flagged. See, where a center which is flagged, there's always a chance that, number one, every student in that center, they might not get their results. Every student in that center, they love to do what? They love to repeat the paper. So in such an event, it was so unfortunate that the company law kind of people had it in advance. So in this case, the only thing that will happen is strict, let me use the word, very strict marking. Very, very strict marking. But the pass mark will never go above 50%, and the pass mark will never go below 50%. But I can assure you guys, like, CASNEP, they normally tend to have systems, and I think I'd mentioned that in one of the group. They normally tend to have systems that leaking a paper is always very impossible. Yeah, leaking a paper is always very impossible. At times people can get lucky in a sense whereby maybe, these questions hazitokangi binguni, yeah? These questions, there are those who normally suggest the questions to be examined. See, like a group of lecturers and a group of professionals, of course, and they are very anonymous. You cannot know them. They are just selected by, of course, CASNEB. They proposed the questions are going to be tested. Even these lecturers who propose the questions are going to be tested, they don't know if at all whatever they are proposed is going to be tested. See, so luckily enough, probably you might find that, okay, maybe a lecturer had proposed a question to be tested, and just some few adjustments were made in that question. Then that is when maybe you can get such a question in an exam. But it is not like purely the question. Rarely you can get like maybe they have just done few adjustment on the names or the values or the figures. But I can, with a lot of certainty and confidence, I can tell you like rarely CASNEB papers will leak out. This incident that has happened today, it is so unfortunate, and I know they have the capacity that they can do what they can make sure that this will never happen again. This will never happen again. This will never happen again. So that's why you'll find that for FM, there was a replacement paper. As much as it delayed, there was a replacement paper. I know they have that capacity in such situations because human beings are human beings. Maybe the only point that this paper can always, these are just but my suggestions. I'm not talking on behalf of CASNEB. The only point that this can always leak out, probably, you'll find that it is on that aspect of the logistic part of it, whereby probably one person is compromised, the one person is not honest. If at all you get a chance to access that before exams, then definitely it will go out. But rarely it does. For the company law paper, I know they're going to be strict on that, but I can assure you, pass mark will never go above 50, and it will never go below 50. It will always be 50%. It will always be 50%. But be sure there's going to be a very strict marking on that paper, a very, very strict marking on the paper, a very strict marking on the paper. So the rest, I think,
Mwalimu, we have some other questions.
if they'll communicate, I believe CASNEB will communicate in regard to the incidents that had happened today. Another question? Yes?
Yeah, there's a point where you mentioned that accountants must be very strategic. Someone was wondering what you meant by being strategic. And then another one, would you recommend upgrading to master's degree or doing other professional courses such as CFFE, CFA, CCP, for someone who has done CPA?
So like, okay, let me know that.
Then someone is also asking, assuming I did advanced taxation and went ahead to complete my CPAK, can CASNEB allow me to take advanced auditing later and give a certificate for that single paper?
Okay.
The other one, let me just finish this one so that you tackle them together. What if you booked and you never attempted? Must you do the specialized unit or you can do another one? That I think it's a previous one. Yeah.
Okay. So we start with being strategic as an accountant. See, so like in this case, many a times, of course, in life, you might be having a torch, but you don't see where you're going. See, many a times in life, of course, you'll be having that lamp, but still you're seeing darkness. So being strategic, what I meant is that everyone or a majority, they have done accounts, yeah? Majority, they have done accounting, they have CPAs. So being strategic in a point whereby there are these key areas that, you know what, you can exploit. And again, as I've said, kunua mkono, you must raise your hand for you to be seen. Say, for example, I've done CPA, I have the knowledge of tax, I have the knowledge of accounts. Let me ask you, yeah? Right now, of course, in this case, let us assuming you're not assuming there's no that picture of politics. What I can tell you is that this government, they are pushing businesses a lot. A lot of businesses are forced to comply. And this is where you as accountants can always take advantage of. Let me ask, how many businesses, more so small businesses around you, even not small business, let us start with your family members. How many people do have businesses? Your friends, how many people they run businesses? And they have issues with VAT filing, they have issues with the aspect of maybe keeping their books properly, and they even don't know you that you're doing accounts. They don't know that you're doing accounts. Why? You've never told them. So being strategic, you do this. You have the knowledge of accounts, you have the knowledge of taxation. You approach these small shops around. The aspect of they're supposed to file TUT, turnover tax. Don't be greedy. Yeah, don't be greedy because you also want to learn. Just tell them that you can assist them in doing this stuff. And what majority of accountants and so many professional money tend to lack, it is always an approach. See, it's always an approach. Of course, when you're seducing a lady, the first thing that you must do is traction, yeah? Give this lady something that not even in terms of physical or aspect of monetary bit, no, just give this lady something that she will be attracted to you first. That's the first thing, yeah, traction. So you approach these small businesses around, even those kiosks around, give them the benefit or give them the reason, the benefit they're going to get if at all they keep their books properly. Every businessman has a dream. Even those small kiosks around, they have a dream of opening up big shops later in the future. How will they do that? Now that is where you instill this idea. I can help you to keep your books. You want to expand with proper books, you can go to a loan end, you can go to a bank and pick a loan. In this case, with proper books, you can always get this and this and this. In terms of you complying, there are so many things that you can avoid. Give this person a reason why you should help him. Don't be greedy. Huyu mtu, you can even charge this person 3,000 or even 5,000 in a month. These small shops, they do have a lot of cash, by the way. Don't be greedy. Just charge this person 5K or even 4,000 in a month and get like 5 to around 6 people if you're lazy. See, so in this case, you'll find that these guys are giving you like 5K or even 5K, they are 6. That is roughly like 30 or maybe 25K if at all you're looking at it in that case. That is just on TOT. You have studied VT, you've learned, let me not talk studying, you've learned VT. You've learned the aspect of the payroll taxes. Actually, I'll also talk about these short courses that we'll also be giving you guys. You go and approach this person. Even your family members, your uncles, your aunties, your friends, tell them that, you know what, I can assist you in doing this aspect of VT. If at all you find a challenge, that is why we are here. That is why we are here. See, you get a challenge, you pigie tu mwalimu mwenyewe, kuna busy nimepata hapa, hivi inanisumbua, unaweza nisaidia vile tutafanya hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi. That's why mwalimu is here. Mwalimu will be like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do. Don't be greedy. Mtu charge kitu kama 5,000 per month for VT. Hiyo ni ile tu, like, because you also want to learn. Wait after watu kama watatu, watu kama watano hivi, it is very easy to get. If at all you approach it with the mind that you want to learn. From this point, remember what you're doing, even if isn't vitu unaweza fanya even on weekends. These are things that you can also do on weekends. See, you are getting your side hustle there, and also you are also earning at this point. There is guy, a very good, he was my student back from ATD, anaitwa Collins. This guy right now, I gave him idea that was back in 2021. Ujamaa says he has a lot of clients, you see, by just doing these small stuff, see. And in this case, you'll position yourself in a point whereby, as much as you're working here, you're also gaining some skills here. The only thing that you really need to do is to get someone who can hold your hands. That is being strategic. See, that is being strategic. You're learning, at the same time, you're also earning. As I've always said, you learn. After learning, you remove that L. See, you learn. After learning, or rather after learn, you remove that L. You start earning. So that's how you should be. Very strategic. That's the strategic point that Mwalimu is talking about. Don't just be like, okay, me, I'm having this, I just want to send my CV. The reason CP is thorough. CP is very thorough and is giving you a lot of knowledge. So don't just sit there like, I want to do this. All that you need to do is get someone to hold your hands. That is the only decision that you need to take. Get someone to hold your hands. The other thing, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. If you're willing to learn, usiwe greedy. And trust you me, you'll give yourself like very few years. You'll always tend to see progress. It will reach a point whereby you can also register your own farm and do your own things. So that is a strategic point that Mwalimu is talking about. That is a strategic point that Mwalimu is talking about. We have, after doing CPA, then you have, of course, your degree. So you're really about, if at all you can go to master's or other professional course. At this point, my honest view would be, it depends with what you achieve. Because either line, it is knowledge that you're adding. Either line, it is knowledge that you're doing what? That you're adding to yourself. If you take the master's route, that is knowledge that you're adding to yourself. If you take other professional course, that is knowledge that you're adding to yourself. Personally, I've not done masters, but what I've done is CCA. I have a CPA. I've done CFA, only part one. And now what I've also done, other than my BCom that I've done several courses in terms of IT. See, and these several courses that I've done aspect to do with some are majorly certificate courses from these international universities. These are things that are opening the doors on my end. See, these are things that are opening the doors on my end. When the time reaches, I'll decide like, okay, I'll go to do masters. But for now, personally, I've not taken the route of masters. What I've done, other than ACCAs, I've done CFA part one with CPA plus my degree in a BBM. The rest of the things that I normally tend to acquire knowledge on is basically in regard to what? In regard to these skilled courses. Like I've done artificial intelligence certificate. That is, of course, from Texas. I've done the other bit. This recently, I did aspect of business analytics. That this is not the one that you're doing here. Data analytics, not the one that for BDA. This one I did in 2021. See, so these are just but short courses, and they literally tend to open you very wide. So in this case, I'll say it is the preference. See, it is a preference of an individual. It is a preference of an individual. The most beautiful part is that, say, for example, with ACCA, say, like if at all I decide to do masters today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply, then I'll do like 2 papers and a project, and I'll get a master's with the ACCA. That is, of course, from London University. See, so in this case, you'll find that what I can say, it is majorly, it depends with your preference. That is what I can say. It depends with your preference, because every line will give you what? Every line will give you knowledge. Every line will give you knowledge. That is what I can say. Eventually, if I told you can do all of them both, better. If I told you can do all of them both, better. But every line will give you knowledge. So I think that will give us in that line. The other bit here we have, of course, if I told you you've done advanced taxation, and now you want to come back and do auditing and assurance, why should you come and do auditing and assurance again? Why should you do that? Yet, once you're done with your CPA, it will be you are done with CPA, regardless of the units that you're doing here. See, why should you come and do auditing and assurance again? And yet, there are other things that you can do. Because regardless of the people that will specialize, it won't affect your career opportunities. It won't affect your career opportunities. It won't affect your career opportunities. So why should you come back and do this paper, and yet there are things that you can do? So for me, I'll advise, if I told you had that mind, frankly speaking, it is not value that you're adding to yourself, even if at all cast me by that option. Currently, I don't think they have this option, but even if there is, what value will it add to you? What value will it add to you? There's a question that I can pose to the person who would ask this. You can consider doing other things. You can consider doing other things. Can I think those are the questions, yeah?
There's one that you left. What if you booked and you never attempted? Must you do the specialized unit, or you can do another one?
Okay. You booked and you never attempted.
Yes.
Yeah? So the moment you book this paper and you never attempted, so far, if I told you I didn't attempted, I know you can change. You booked, but you never attempted. And in this case, you are not counted as absent, or in this case also, that period of doing the exams, maybe it is still within that scope. You have booked, but you applied for deferral before the exams was examined or such, then in that case, you can always change. But if at all you had booked, you missed that paper and it was counted as absent, you have to do that paper. Or you booked that paper and you skipped without doing, and that semester that you had booked had passed, you have to book that. You have to do the paper. But if I told you your book and you're still within the period, either you deferred and you never attempted, then in that case, there's a chance that you can do what? You can change. There's a chance that you can change.
Okay, someone is quickly asking whether best specialization paper, is it in advanced, is it tax or audit?
The what there? Pardon?
Best specialization paper at advanced level, is it tax or audit?
Hapo unataka kufunga mwalimu. Hapo unataka kufunga mwalimu. Yeah? Huyo mtu anataka kufunga mwalimu. So like what I normally tend to say is that the specialization paper that you can select in advanced level, this one will purely depend with your preference. See, this one will purely depend with your preference. If you go to tax, that's okay. If you go to audit, that's okay. It will purely depend with your preference. My other view will be tax has a wider scope. Why? Because the tax in advanced level, it will help you, if at all you're not, as much as you're looking at in terms of passing and also getting clear knowledge on how things are being done. Advanced level taxation has elements that you never attempted in. You never attempted, of course, in your basic level of taxation. And in this case, it will give you more knowledge of what you didn't have. For auditing, mostly in advanced, it is more of investigative component and what you did at your basic level. What you did at your basic level. And also, you'll find that it is not like either of the paper, there's no paper that you can say that it is easy. If I told you to look at both papers, they have the same weight. When it comes to marking, you'll find that it is easy to pass tax. Why? They'll consider the entries. For audit at advanced, more of investigative, meaning that it is more of application. So if at all you are not very keen enough, it might be slippery in a way. It might be slippery in a way. See, but otherwise, at this point, it depends with your preference. It purely depends with your preference. That is what I can say. That is what I can say. That is what I can say in relation to that. See. So, looking at this other thing before maybe we pick other questions, we are going in a short holiday. We are going in a short holiday. What we've always been doing this for those who have been with us. During this period, there are these short courses that we've literally prepared for you guys. Like this time round, we'll be doing Power Business Intelligence, Power BI. These are, if at all, anyone who wants to be relevant in some few months to come, I'll really advocate that you take Power Business Intelligence. We also have the aspect of Advanced Excel. Advanced Excel, remember, these are courses that will open you not only in what we normally tend to do basically at maybe workplace, but it will even widen your scope when it comes to matters of analysis. So we have Power Business Intelligence. We have Advanced Excel, a very powerful knowledge or skill. If you have, it will open the doors that you've never imagined. Then we have Masterclass in Taxation. The Masterclass in Tax, what I'm going to guide you guys is that things have literally changed. like previously, when it comes to VT, guys were doing things manually. Nowadays, we have e-teams. How good are you in e-teams? How can you use this knowledge of e-teams even to earn? See, in this case, there's this aspect to do the payroll taxes. We have SHIF, we have NSSF, we have the aspect of paying. How these payroll taxes help you to at least get the knowledge either to apply at workplace or even to earn. Then we have this basic part, which is QuickBooks. QuickBooks is not something complicated, but I really insist on aspect of if at all you have resources and you have time. You see, Power Business Intelligence, Advanced Excel, and there's this masterclass in taxation. I will really wish that all of us to join this. You'll just see the doors that it will be opening. If you are strategic and use this knowledge very well, you'll see the doors that it will be opening. You'll just see the doors that it will open. So take the chance. And as I've told you where Power BI is going, the aspect of advanced Excel, ideal for your knowledge analysis, and also for those who will be doing a BDA, then having this knowledge right now, it will help a lot. It will help a lot. So these courses will be offering for the next 2 weeks because the target will be up to 20th December. After this point, we will give you access to our LMS for a period of 3 months so that you just review, you gather all knowledge. And later on you tell mwalimu kusema ukweli hapa ulitusaidia. Hapa mwalimu kusema ukweli ulitusaidia. So this is what we have for you this time round. I know currently there's a tag of 5,000 per each course, but unaweza jitetea. Ukitaka kujitetea, we kuja inbox, we jitetee. But currently the tag, so for Darasa students, of course, there's that 10% discount. But any other person, we unaweza kuja jitetee. I'll really advocate that we take these courses. We kuja jitetee, sema mwalimu mimi sema kweli hapa ndo nimefika mwisho. Naingia session ama siingii mwalimu, lakini nataka kuingia. Tusaidiane hapa. See? So you reach out and then of course we'll discuss about how we are going to go about this. We are starting this Saturday. And in that case, we'll also be having by this certificate after completion. The college is registered under TVETA. Yeah. See, there are some cases where unaweza fanya kitu kwa college alafu next time ukienda kwa college imebadilishwa kuwa supermarket. Yeah. And the college imebadilishwa kuwa supermarket. No, as we are registered under TVETA, and meaning that this certificate, you can literally use it anywhere. See, you can literally use it anywhere. So this is what we offer, and I really hope that all of us, if possible, we attend these short courses. Karo, kuna swali kwa mwalimu?
Yeah, quite a number, not many. Just
Okay.
around 3.
Okay.
So is it wise to combine profession after completing CPA, for example, law? Someone is asking that. Then there's another one. Mwalimu, can I do CPA? I did engineering. Yeah, this is a person who did engineering. Then there's someone who is asking, is it wise to do advanced Excel prior to BDA? Ama you can still sit for the paper without doing Excel and pass? Then maybe this is the last one here. When I finish CPA, is there exemption in ACCA? Yeah.
Okay, great. So combining professionals, CPA and maybe law, that's the best way, diversification. Pia mwalimu hapa akona courses za IT, but amefanya nini? Amefanya CPA. So diversification, that one, I give it a thumbs up. If you are able, go for it. You are opening the doors that might have been closed. If you are able, go for it. That should be the way to go. All of us, diversification is the key. And that is part of being what? Strategic. So that one, I give you my blessing. I give you a thumbs up. That should be the way things should be done. I literally give you a thumbs up. You go for it. You go for it. Diversify, diversify, diversify. That is okay. Then, of course, the same case with engineering and, of course, doing CPA. That is diversification. And like the most beautiful part with accounts is that accounts, it is in every sector. And accounts, you can literally do accounts purposely for knowledge. It's not like you do accounts for you to be employed somewhere. That's the most beautiful part. You tell me an industry that does not require accounting knowledge. You tell me whichever industry, even content creators, they need accountants, yeah, to manage whatever they're getting from whatever YouTube is paying and from whatever other sources are paying. So accounting, engineering, if you're able, I give you a thumbs up. You go for it. Mwalimu is giving you a blessing. If you're able, enda nayo, yeah, enda nayo ukiendanga, endanga nayo ukisonga nayo mbele. We have, of course, the aspect of before you do BDA, in this case, if at all you're having knowledge of Excel, you'll get a very smooth run when it comes to BDA. And if at all you have advanced Excel, the better. If at all you have advanced Excel, the better. Why? Because in advanced Excel, of course, we are going to guide you on matters to do with some specific tools, like in a VLOOKUP, in an aspect of a pivot table, which are ideal for BDA. So if you are capable, and this will always be the best way to go. If you are capable, you can study Excel, advanced Excel. You be very good with it. You'll have a very easy road when it comes to BDA. It's not that you can do, so you can also do BDA without doing Excel, but you'll find there are so many things that you're going to miss, or there are so many things that you might struggle to understand compared to this person who has done what? Compared to this person who has done advanced Excel. So for me, I'll advise, if you're capable and able, fanya advanced Excel, then BDA, you'll have a very smooth way to go. So if you at all you've done exemptions, if at all you've done CPA, yes, you're going to get exemptions for ACCA. Initially, you're getting almost all the knowledge based. You are only required to do like 4 papers under the skill level. That was you're required to do, of course, F5. You're required to do F9. You're required to do F7, and I think it was F6. You're required to do only 4 papers. So you're going to get all the other exemptions. In that case, for the knowledge based, then the skill based, you'll be required to do only 4 papers. That was last time I checked. This time, at times they normally tend to change. But last time I checked, if I told you you've done CPA, for skill, you do 4 papers. Then after you're done with the skill level, there is professional part now. Other than the strategic paper, the professional, you can do 3. Then after you're done with 3, you can either now decide to go and do some project and some few papers and to get your master's. So in this case, you'll be exempted. Last time I checked, you're supposed to do only 4 papers for skill, then professional. So subject to confirmation, if at all they have also adjusted the same. If at all they have adjusted that. Any other question, guys? If at all there is, Carol?
Yeah, there is. Mwalim, which one would you recommend after CPA? Bachelor in Information Technology or Bachelor in Commerce? Alafu, hivi majuzi, nimeona USA disqualify some professions. How safe are we as CPAs?
Okay. So like you find that in this case, if my honest view, my very, very honest view, if at all you're done with CPA, and maybe in this case, of course, for BCom or a BBM, you'll be given exemptions. So there are some papers that you might not do. For diversification, BBAT will always be a very good route to go. BBAT will always be a very, very good route to go. If at all you handle BBAT, Bachelor's in Business Information Technology, that will be a nice route to go. But if at all you want some exemptions or just a degree, then BBM will be there, or rather BCom, because you're going to get exemptions. Because you're going to get exemptions. So when it comes to, of course, that part that you said, in terms of CPA is very safe. CPA is very safe. That one I can assure you. Of course, East Park has a partnership with these international organizations like IFAC. We have so many collaborations and partnership with this international, which in this case, CPA is not one just cause that can just be disqualified like that. So you are very safe. You are very, very, very safe. You're very, very, very safe. You're very, very, very safe. Last question, Carol, if there is.
Yeah, there's let me ask this too. Now, someone is asking, out of all the courses, which one do you recommend? So I don't know which courses he or she means. Grace is asking, out of all the courses, which one do you recommend? Though she didn't specify. And then someone is asking, is BDA compulsory? And then the other one, which universities offers the best exemption for CPA finalists?
Okay.
And then the other one is the short courses. Someone is just asking. Oh, okay. She's asking Grace, the one who was asking about the courses. She's asking, out of the short courses you're mentioning, which ones are the best out of a number of courses that you've mentioned? Alafu the last one, Mwalimu, which is the best master? Okay, sorry. Which universities offer the best exemptions for a CPA finalist?
Okay. So in terms,
the last one, let me just, because it's almost the same with what I've read. Which is the best, Mwalimu, which is the best master one can do after CPA?
A master's or a degree? Or you have a degree already? The one was asking for master's.
I want to believe that because he's asking the master.
Master's. Yeah. Okay, sure. So in this case, the one Grace was asking for, is it you want one course, or only one specific course, or two courses for me to go further? Because like if at all you are limited, with the resources, if at all you have resources, you can do all. Majorly aspect of Power Business Intelligence, Advanced Excel, and Taxation Masterclass. You can literally do both of them. But if at all you are limited with the resources, if at all you have to do two only, then you can go with Power Business Intelligence and Advanced Excel. If at all you are to do only one, then in this case, you can start with Advanced Excel, because Power BI will also require a knowledge of what? A knowledge of a bit of Excel. So if I told you to go with 2, Power BI and Advanced Excel. If I told you to go with 3, Power BI, Advanced Excel, and of course, Taxation Masterclass. If I told you to go with 1, then Advanced Excel will work out very well. Then in terms of a university that has good exemptions, so far, based on my knowledge that I have, we have Moi University and we have KCA, right? Where I am sitting in the knowledge that I have. KCA and Moi University, so far are the universities that you can earn or you can enjoy exemptions, that you can enjoy, of course, exemptions. So that is what I can say in terms of the universities that can offer exemptions. Then the person who is asking the best masters to take, in this case, it will depend with what you want. See, like in this case, because like for master's degree is always just an additional knowledge of what you have. See, either in this case, of course, we can decide to go, if at all you go with the MBA, that one, of course, it is in line. If at all you're done with what? If at all you're done with the aspect of finance. Also, another good one, of course, there's the aspect of strategic management, masters in strategic management. That one, ideally, you see in this case, if at all you want to learn aspect of the position of executives, yeah, then of course, masters in strategic management can also be a very good course that you can take when it comes to masters. So that is also an option that you can consider. So then the last bit, I think that was the last bit. Was there any other question in relation to that? Carol, I don't think there was a question amongst what you've asked. Are there any other questions?
No. You've tackled all.
Okay,
but
great.
There are other ones that I've added, though you had said that those were the last ones. So I don't know whether you want to tackle these ones.
Yeah. So I'm requesting, like I'm having a certain meeting that I've scheduled for online. I'm requesting that those who have other questions, yeah, kindly you can just chat on 0708 068 851. I'll be able to address more questions on that area, so that at least, so we'll be having more sessions. We'll be having more sessions in relation to this, so that we can learn more. So allow Mwalimu to leave it at that point. I am encouraging us, yeah, to make sure that you get time to join these short courses. They'll help a lot. I believe you guys, you've learned one or two things, and I know you're going to apply. What you've learned. So to this point, you have a very good night.
Well, just one comment, not a question,
yes,
from my end.
Yes, please.
How about, I don't know whether you've thought of training AI, because it's again going to cause a lot of disruptions. Currently, that's what almost everybody is talking about. I've seen sessions where guys are trying to do trainings. I don't know whether it's something that you've considered. And then maybe in your next session like this, maybe you can also consider just training guys how to plan their time, because I find you doing a lot of things and I wonder at what time do you ever being my teacher, and again what you usually do by the sides, today I've actually understood that you are an IT expert. That's why you've managed to do so much. But just a comment. Thank you though. You've learned a lot.
That's great. You see, in terms of artificial intelligence, we offer that, only that I didn't mention here. We offer basically artificial intelligence training, and also the Power BI that you're talking about. Power BI has a lot of AI. Power BI has a lot of AI, which Mwalimu will be guiding us on that case. Because AI in terms of finance is wide, and that one, we cannot do it as a short course. I know some people, they are offering AI, teaching guys on how to use ChatGPT. That is not AI. See, that is not AI. Because AI, look at what Deloitte has done, creating chatbots on how they can help clients, of course, in managing their task. So we offer AI, but AI on our end, these are courses that will take you almost 4 months. So this is not a short course that you can just do within the period. And Carol, that is a very good insight. Nowadays, or right now where we are sitting, majority actually, they confuse what AI is. So whatever that is being offered outside here when it comes to AI, I tend to just laugh. But there are so many things when it comes to artificial intelligence, which I think we'll have another session, which I'll be talking about the same as well. Is that okay? But that was a very good insight. Carol, I really need to look for you. We have a cup of tea. Thank you so much for always being my secretary in everything that we do more so online. Really appreciate. Sana sana tena. Okay?
Thank you.
Great. So you guys have a very good night and see you in the next sessions. We can continue our discussions in our WhatsApp group. We can continue